All right, welcome in, everybody. Fifth quarter extra. Week 6 of the high school football season is coming to an end, or has come to an end, and it has been an eventful one, no doubt about that, guys. Several non-region games. Everybody's either on the bye week or playing a non-region game. So we don't have a ton of games to cover tonight, but we have a lot of storylines to cover, Gerhard, and none bigger than what it is that my eyes, I feel like, are deceiving me when I look at this scoreboard.
Yeah.
Williamson beats Murphy 100-0.
Yeah, that is not a misprint. And honestly, my eyes went 3 inches bigger when
This is the
heard
scoreboard.
that as well. Yeah.
That's real.
Yeah.
And
that is a real thing.
our good friend Ben Thomas over at AL.com has already done a story on this, naturally, because either he called Antonio Coleman, the head coach at Williamson, immediately and said, "Hey, what's going on?" Or Ben called him and said, "Hey, what's going on?" Or Ben called him, or Antonio called and said, "Hey, I want my story out there because I did not run up the score." Now, that's not what he said. But he did say, at least for part of the article that I can read, is that Williamson was leading Murphy 73-0 at
That's
halftime.
right. Yeah.
That's strong.
Yeah. Which Williamson has been that good over a lot of teams so far this year.
Oh, yeah.
So,
It
yes,
doesn't
it's very
surprise me.
strong.
I'm just saying that's a lot of points.
Correct.
It says then, again, this is an article on AL.com, Ben Thomas, our good friend. Quote from Antonio Coleman, the head coach of Williamson. "I would like to remind you, former Auburn football great,
That's right.
the head coach at Murphy,
Former NFL player.
is a former Alabama great.
That's right.
In Sherman Williams.
Yep.
And just last year, a year and a half ago, Sherman Williams was on Antonio Coleman's staff.
That's right.
These two know each other,
Very well.
and then listen,
Yeah.
coaching is coaching. They say it's a brotherhood. A lot of coaches would say that that's probably doesn't exist anymore, and that doesn't mean you don't have anything to do with what's going on here. But Antonio Coleman said, "Quote: I wanted to run the clock. I asked the ref. This is a halftime. Running the clock. I asked the ref. He said, okay. He asked me if I had a problem with going to 8 minutes. I said no. That's down from 12.
That's right.
He went to ask Murphy's coach. They're trailing 73-0. Sherman Williams. He said he didn't want to run the clock."
And
then that means that the clock just runs.
Yes.
It's going to be 16 minutes of everyone just standing there looking at each other.
Yeah, and it will only stop during timeouts, but that's it. And so it sounds like, and we obviously need to hear both sides of this, but it sounds like Antonio Coleman wanted to do everything he could
Sure.
at the time to be able to stop the bleeding, so to speak.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm shocked by the score because Antonio Coleman is just not, like, he's not going to sit there and just go put up 100 on a bunch of kids for some.
Sure.
Even if, if there is personal beef, and there might not be, there could be nothing, but he's just not that guy.
Yeah.
He's not that guy. And Sherman, right now, Murphy is a hurting program. This is a program that is only probably a decade away from when they were winning region championships,
That's
or at least
right.
vying for them, and being a really, really good program, a very storied, proud program. And the Panthers have just taken a loss. And I don't just mean loss on the field. I mean, it has just been a detriment. It really, really has.
Yeah.
We have highlights from the game. Patrick, pull some of those up. And of course, Williamson looks as good as advertised. There's a reason they're the third best team in the state right now in 5A.
Yeah, and going into this game, they were already outscoring their opponents like 200 something, I think, to 14 at one point. Their defense is really that good.
Yeah.
And the backside of this argument will be, Simone, and I've heard both sides of these kind of blowouts. It will be, well, you can't ask your young guys to come in there and not play football. So it's one of those where I'm not sure when the starters were taken out and all of that. And that's
Patrick,
that's
didn't you
what I
say
really
that somebody
want to
had
hear.
8 touchdowns? Did you say somebody had 8 touchdowns, or somebody said somebody had 8
I don't
touchdowns?
think.
No,
I don't think that was me.
Okay, who said that somebody had? Oh, that was Pete. Some dude for Williams had 8 touchdowns. Sorry, Patrick, I was trying to.
That's all good.
I was getting so many texts about this game.
Yeah,
I couldn't remember who
I
texted. Pete said, this is Peter Albrecht, some dude for Williams had 8 touchdowns. That's a lot.
That's a ton. That's a ton. And I mean,
how long was he in the game? I don't know who it was. I don't know how long he was in the game.
Right.
Was it Alvin Dinkins? Like the passing
Oh,
touchdowns?
might have been, yeah.
I mean, it might have been. And
Right.
again, like, he could be throwing to, again, if you guys are joining in on the conversation, and Patrick, you have the comments up. I'm working through some of these as well. If you're joining us on Facebook, guys, this is Fifth Quarter Extra. Simone Eli, Gerhard Mathangani, Patrick Walsh. We are chatting all things Week 6 of the high school football season along the Gulf Coast. Everybody out of region play or on the bye. I see you smirking. What are you reading?
No, this is completely off the topic. Our good buddy Rodney Williamson.
I know he got something to say.
Yeah, he was obviously at the T.R. Miller UMS Wright game today.
Yes.
And so he got his first taste. We've all gotten our first taste of the UMS Wright offense. When you see it in person, it's completely different. Well, he made this astute observation because I saw it for the first time last week when they were playing Viger. But he says UMS runs the hurry up offense quicker than Auburn did with Gus Malzahn.
I know, honestly, NASCAR. Oh, it's funny because Gerhard you showed me some of those highlights that you shot of that game when we had it was UMS Viger.
That's right. Yeah.
You didn't even stop recording.
No.
Which is insane. And you're a pretty athletic guy.
And I ran to the next spot. It was like a 30-yard play. Ran to the next spot. Just kept the recording on, Rodney. Kept the recording on.
Yes.
And then it popped right up. Literally as the camera goes up, the ball was snapped. And we were told on the front end by Coach Renardo Jackson. He said we're counting it. It's about 7 to 10 seconds per snap. Yep. It feels faster than that.
Yeah. If you're just tuning in, guys, either on Facebook or on the WKRGplus app. This is Fifth Quarter Extra, the second year for this program. Gerhard Manthagani, Simone Eli, Patrick Walsh joining you. The first thing we chatted about, Patrick, pull up that graphic again, was the shellacking, the shocking, every word you can think of, every S word you can think of, every shocking word you can think of. 100-0 Williamson beats Murphy. And AL.com's Ben Thomas has an article out. He already talked to Antonio Coleman, and Antonio said he wanted to go to a running clock in the second half. Sherman Williams, the head coach at Murphy, said he did not want to go to a running clock. So we'll have to see. We'll get to both sides of that.
And here's the thing, Simone. I think a lot of times people will see a final result. They'll see the 100-0, and they'll draw conclusions. They'll draw a lot of conclusions, and I did it as well because you just don't know the way the game played out. But at least Coach Coleman, we'll see if we can get him on our program too to see.
I texted him a minute ago.
Explain it a little bit more. I'm hesitant to just jump to a conclusion, not knowing the full details. When the starters came in, when the starters left the game, and I think it was Steve Spurrier, one of the old coaches, used to say, like, you put your young guys in and you're not putting them to not play football. So
what are you gonna do? Like lay on the ground?
Exactly. So we'll see.
Everybody practices for a reason.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Even though it was week 6 of the season, non-region games, a lot of meaningful old region rivalries. Maybe before we went to 7 classifications about 13 years ago, we were in 6 classifications. So everyone kind of jumbled up. Back in the day, Mobile and Baldwin County was split into 2 different regions, Region 1 and Region 2. So it's always an interesting time to be able to see those rekindled games, so to speak. And one of them happened over at Davidson, our game of the week, the Warriors welcoming in McGill-Tulangi.
Yeah, one of the really interesting situations in this matchup because you had a McGill-Tulane team that has not played at their new stadium, at Davidson's new stadium, because Davidson used to play at
Which
Ladd,
are, by the way, right next to each other. Like the Lip and Davidson High School are like
a half mile.
For me, probably a 9-iron. For Patrick, probably like a 3-wood. But they're pretty close.
For me, a putter.
Okay.
And then,
anyway, back to the highlights. Reroll this. I don't want to take it in spotlight. Reroll the dang thing.
So this is Coach Faulkner and company over to Warrior Stadium. A really, in my opinion, a great matchup. I love that these two teams are still playing since 1962. This is 60th meeting. 30 wins for UMS Wright, 30 wins for McGill-Tulane, 28 wins and 1 tie here. This is an early touchdown here for Caden Thrash, a little pop pass here from Blaine Beret, and that got the scoring early on for the Yellow Jackets. A little bit later on, it is Ladarian Miller. He would fumble, but great play there for the Davidson defense. Jeremy Ardenell on the recovery, but no score there. And Beret goes up top again, this time right down the middle of the field. Just a beautiful pitch and catch there. Caden Thrash once again. It is Beret to Thrash, and that's once, that's twice, and this is the 3rd time. Yep. This is one of our 22nd State Bank Player of the Week nominees you could vote for.
That's pretty.
That is pretty. 45-yard touchdown, and just like that, McGill-Tulane really needed a win. They had lost 3 straight coming into this one. It took one on the chin against Saraland, and they ended up getting a really, really big win today. Final score on that one was 42-7.
Yeah, that's a big win for McGill, and it really speaks to the strength of 6A Region 1. Really 6A in the state, as we know, that really is the SEC of the state when it comes to high school football. But Region 1, man, that just top to bottom, they're really, really good. But keep that in mind when we get down a little down ways here. Talk about Theodore, because they're 4-0 in the region, but took a loss today. I was a little bit surprised by. All right, let's head over to Daphne High School, guys. This is definitely a rivalry game. These two teams played quite a bit back in the day, but no longer in the same region. Of course, Daphne, Kenny King, 7A program, ranked 9th in the state right now. Spanish for the Toros, of course, led by Chase Smith. You saw him there a moment ago. This one over at Daphne High School. Plenty of excitement between these two programs, and a lot of both proud programs, state championship programs. And early on, it was a guy named Aiden Schamberger absolutely doing what he does best, which is read option, take off with your legs, nobody's going to catch you, and into the end zone he goes. It's 7-0. It would not stop there as far as Aiden Schamberger. Here he is once again making a great read. Maybe it's a called run. I don't even know. I mean, honestly, I would call it a run. I mean, like, I would say, hey, just run, dude. Like, you don't got to read anything. Just go ahead and take off. Just go ahead and go. But wow, okay, can we replay that, Patrick? Because look at this. I mean, that might be a horse collar. Now, it wasn't a touchdown, which I was a little bit surprised.
Right.
I thought because he drilled the pylon.
Yeah, right.
But anyways, so if it was a injury, or not an injury, but a horse collar, it was half distance to the goal, whatever. But he was down just ahead of the goal line, and no problem, Juju Bonner into the end zone right there. So Spanish Fort takes a 14-0 lead on the road early in this game, and you're thinking that the cards are completely stacked against Daphne, who is, again, ranked the top 10 team in the state right now, playing really, really well. But here comes Christian Sager, one of our Zaxby's Player of the Week guys from earlier this season, connecting with one of his receivers. Let's take his name, Zachary Buchka. Zachary Buchka completely juked out Lee Atherton, our photographer, and he said it himself. He really did. It was great. It was a great fake there. And then Sager, a little bit later, is going to hit one of his favorite targets, C.J. Gardner. They had 4 touchdown pitch and catch just a couple weeks ago when we had Sager as our Zaxby's Player of the Week.
Right.
But there's Juju Bonner back into the end zone for Spanish Fort. It's 21-14 at that point, and Daphne is going to eventually fight their way into this game and then well past Spanish Fort in this game. 42-0. Excuse me, 42-28 is the final score, but they completely shut down the scoring. That's what I was trying to say. Shut down the scoring there late in the second half, and what a win for Daphne to be able to come back, completely shut out. 0 points late in the game there for Spanish Fort, and to run away with that game, it's huge win for Daphne, no question.
They keep winning like this. 7 days ago, you and I sat here and we talked about some of the things that Daphne's doing this year to change the mold. They want to break over that hump. They were just been one and done in the playoffs. They want to be able to host a playoff game, win a playoff game. As of right now, they are 5-1 on a 3-game winning streak. Their only loss is another back and forth game to MGM a couple of weeks ago, but now a 3-game winning streak, and that is a very impressive win over a good Spanish Fort
and it's
team.
one that really matters because those two communities pretty much touch each other, and so there's a lot of trash talk between the Trojans and the Toros. No doubt about that. Oh, I mentioned a minute ago the UMS TR Miller game, and this game is one that has special meaning, Gerhard, to a lot of folks in both communities. Yeah,
this was a really special game last year. Ken Lett, who you see right here with a good smile on his face, and it's great to see. 1 year ago, in this game, he suffered a neck injury, and it looked really bad. It looked really bad in the moment.
It was. It was terrible. It was bad.
Absolutely.
He's been through rehab for a year now, and you see a smile on his face. And he's a great kid. Patrick, run that back. And his mom posts regular updates on social media.
That's right.
And I know that there's just so many prayers, not only in the TR Miller community, but also the Bulldog community. Terry Curtis, of course, the longtime UMS head coach, has just really rallied the Bulldogs. And it's really impressive to see how much these two programs have just poured into Ken Lett.
Yeah, Patrick, if you could do that one more time, I want to interject one thing. There were 2 Hall of Fame coaches there. It's Brent Hubbard and Terry Curtis. I was at the game last year when Mr. Lett got hurt. And it was Terry Curtis that stopped everybody because they all prayed at first. They all met in the middle of the field.
I have chills just like reliving that night.
Yes, and they all prayed while the ambulance and the EMTs, who did an amazing job, they were all there. And right before both teams went back to their sidelines, it was Terry Curtis that said, "Hey guys, let's just stop. And it was the opening kickoff, by the way. So it's adrenaline flowing. Everybody's just hyped on football. And this happens to one of your brothers if you're TR Miller, one of your opponents if you're a UMS Wright. And it was one Hall of Fame coach that said, stop everything. They joined hands with the other Hall of Fame coach, and Brent Hubbard, who retired as well. And they had that nice moment. And to see that moment 365 days ago around to this moment right now, it's really special. 2 new coaches in this game, but still the same love and the same support for that young man right there in
Ronnie
Ken
Cottrell, of course, now the TR Miller coach, who has a ton of ties with that entire community. Sam Williams comes over from Mississippi, but knows, hey, really quickly, this is something that's so important to not only the TR Miller community, but us as well, because of this life-changing moment that happened a year ago. And so it's great to see the smile on his face. It's been great to see the updates, but our prayers continue to be with Ken Lett. And I think it just is a reminder, a stark reminder, that life can change like that.
No question.
Man, that was a really hard moment, but really wonderful to see the young people, the people who are legendary coaches, everyone in between rally around that young man.
And it continued even after that weekend. I think what UMS Wright started, they started the love from the opposition. It wasn't story that was just going to be forgotten. He was going to be in a hospital and people would forget.
Yep.
It was a story that stayed in everybody's mind. And I remember later on that season going to Bayshore Christian, and the Bayshore Christian cheerleaders had forever, 21 on them. Remember Ken Lett. This was 5-6 weeks after the initial incident. And I think that all started because of what happened at UMS Wright. So those communities will forever be linked because they've won championships, they've been successful, but they will forever be linked that night because of the way they handled that moment.
Amen to that. No question about it. Of course, the game eventually did kick off, and right now, T.R. Miller, a top 10 team in Class 3A, and then UMS Wright is just a completely revamped offensive program that we've just completely seen all the classic UMS Wright thrown out the window, and here they are running the hurry up.
They still play great defense, but it's completely different on offense, and Coach Sam Williams and company, they ran 47 plays in the first half.
That's insane.
Against Viger last week, and off to a really good start. That is Perry Hand getting into the end zone for the early touchdown as the Bulldogs take the lead. They grab an early 8-0 lead after the 2-point conversion. Watch this play here by Marquise English Jr. He breaks 6 tackles. This pass here from Cole McMillan. And this is a great individual effort. However, the Tigers unable to score. That drive would stall out, and so the Bulldogs would get the ball back, and they would go to Richard Scott. He had a really good game a couple of weeks ago, and back at it here again, gets into the end zone for the touchdown, and UMS Wright would go on to win it on the road against the winningest program in the entire state of Alabama, more than 700 wins to their name. This is their first loss, but there's nothing to hang your head about if you're T.R. Miller, because this is a really good UMS Wright team that came into town. I really like the fact that these two play one another. 29-6 is your final score there as UMS Wright gets back into the win column in non-region action.
Yes, big win, no doubt, and a lot still ahead for T.R. Miller under Coach Cottrell, who was just our JPT Power Coach of the Week last week. So a lot of positive things ahead. If you're just tuning in, guys, I know several people here on Facebook. I'm going to catch up with some of these comments here. We got 100 to nada. We definitely have been chatting about that, guys. That's how we started the show. We will continue to chat about what went on at Williamson, guys. According to Antonio Coleman, the head coach at Williamson, he wanted to go to a running clock at halftime, and Sherman Williams did not want to go to running clock. We're waiting to get some more information. I've reached out to Coach Williams to see if he will come chat with us, and I'll let you know if we hear back from him. But 100-0 was the final score in that game.
Yeah, so for those of us in the chat, we have been talking about that. We showed the highlights of that game earlier. So if you joined the chat late, be sure to go back and watch it, because we have been talking about that matchup.
All right, guys, let's keep things rolling, and let's head to our next game, Patrick. Where are we headed? Over to Theodore, and the Bobcats have been killing it lately. Steve Mask was our JBT Power Coach of the Week just not too long ago. We had a Theodore player a couple weeks ago. JJ Bush was our Zaxby's Player of the Week after one of the first weeks. They've won 4 region games. We had to run this play back, Patrick, because I was talking. This one needs its due diligence and respect. Put some respect on it. Look at this. How about the pitch and catch from Robert Garner to Fisher Southall?
Wow.
Completely laying it out on the line, guys. The fingertip catch. That is one of our 22nd State Bank Play of the Week nominees. You can vote for that right now over on WKRG.com. Meanwhile, the run game did not end for Theodore, at least early in this game. There's Kendrick Abel. He's been fantastic for Steve Mask and company right there, breaking loose on the big run. Then the Arkansas commit, J.J. Bush, into the end zone. Great pair of guys who can do a lot out of the backfield. And it's 7-7 at that point. You're thinking maybe Theodore is going to turn the table. Theodore fans certainly thought that they were going to, have some momentum. They got a lot of momentum in water bottle situations over there. Look at this Southall again. Woo. I mean, all right, go ahead, Tim Carter. And how about this? Fairhope gets the win 31-7. I'm stunned by this. And I don't know, and there could have been injuries. He could have been resting guys. I don't know. There's a ton of things. I haven't texted either coach. But I'm surprised by that score.
Well, I am too, mainly, and not this is no disrespect to Fairhope, but Theodore have been playing so well. You think about just last week, 7 days ago.
How many weeks have I asked if they've been ranked in the top 10? The last 7 weeks, it feels like. Yes. Every week I've asked you.
Yep. And they're really just outside of it. 6 days
so jam-packed to the top 10, but yeah.
That's exactly right. But no, this is a Theodore team that was feeling really good. 7 days ago, they played neck and neck with St. Paul's. I mean, that game went back and forth. They won that game 42-41. Coach of the Week this past week was Steve Mask, because obviously he got a big win there. So this is a really, really good Theodore football team. So hat tip to the Pirates, because the Pirates now, they lost that first game to Spanish Fort. It was raining like crazy that night.
You never know how that's going to go.
They haven't lost since then, Simone.
Dude, that's crazy.
They're red hot now.
Red hot. Look out for the Pirates, guys. All right, let's head to Citronelle, don't we?
Let's do it. Let's head over to Citronelle and Alma Bryant. going on the road there and taking on Citronelle. You see some drones in the sky. It was a nice little night there for Citronelle and a good start offensively for the Wildcats. Wyatt Nelson, it's Kobe Weaver. Weaver goes into the end zone. Nice touchdown here. Now, there were some quarterback situations with the Hurricanes coming into this matchup.
I got some bad intel.
You share the same four walls.
Sometime around like midnight on Wednesday, I had the coach at Alma Bryant tell me they didn't have a quarterback in today's game. And, well, I just watched their quarterback throw an 80-yard pass there, so I don't know really what was going on, but I feel like I got bad information.
I've heard of gamesmanship between coaches. I've never heard of gamesmanship in your own home.
Listen, he's like, what do you want me to do? I'm trying to scout you. I was just asking why you're watching film so late, my guy. Like, all right, whatever. But, yeah, so we're married. So I think Mackay did have an injury from last week, but apparently he's back in the game. But then they ran a lot of this direct snap stuff, man. We watched the second half of that game, and cue JP Sessions because Alma Bryant does get it done, and peeling back the curtain. All right, guys, let's just real talk this for a minute. My husband is the head coach at Alma Bryant. For anybody who hasn't been on the program for more than 4 seconds previously, this is my son. And usually, every single year for the last, 5 that we've been down here, we've had childcare on Friday nights, okay? And we didn't tonight. So I recruited our sports producer, Patrick, and his fiance, who is here somewhere. Hopefully, Patrick's in the room.
I'm in the room.
Kenzie
you can't see me right now.
somewhere with JP, and I just texted earlier. I said, "Is everybody alive?" And she sent me back this. I was like, you know what? They're not just alive; they're thriving.
It gets better.
Here we go. Oh, selfie.
I love it. And now, Patrick, you will understand this. I don't know, what's the old saying? Apples don't fall far from the tree.
Oh, yeah.
Because
he gets it from his daddy.
Just a couple of weeks ago, those same glasses were on Mama's face as she was celebrating a big Bowling Green victory on a Thursday night right here on Southeast Sports Plus, right here in this studio, in this seat. That's where you got those sunglasses,
You know what? It is. Stun of shades.
I love it.
Stun of shades.
Stun of shades.
Alma Bryant gets the win, 18-13, and shout out to MCPSS Television for broadcasting the game because then JP got to watch the post-game press conference.
He was so happy.
Was cute.
He was so happy.
He was so happy. I was like celebrating. I was like, oh yeah, like they get the strip sack or what it was there at the end, and he looks at me and goes, "Did Dad's team win?" I'm like, "They won, babe." I'm like, "They won." So, not that I'm ever cheering against anybody else.
He has a great dynamic because he gets to see Dad play on Friday nights and he gets to watch Mom just talk about everybody on Friday nights. It's a cool dynamic.
I know.
It's a really cool
dynamic. It is certainly something. I feel as though he likes to be at the field house more than he likes to be at the studio, unless he gets to hang out with Kenzie. So shout out to the spouses of the fifth quarter.
That's right.
All right, guys. All right, so we're going to revisit this topic that everyone's talking about, and that's the Murphy-Williamson game, which ended in a shocking 100-0 final score. Here's some highlights from this game. Of course, a non-region battle. Murphy is in 6A Region 1. They've struggled a lot lately. Williamson is the third-ranked team in Class 5A. Two very, very notable coaches in the state of Alabama, not only from a coaching level, but even bigger as a player level. Williamson's head coach is a longtime Auburn linebacker, a fantastic one at that, and Antonio Coleman, who also played at Williamson.
That's right.
Sherman Williams. Wow, Robert Sherman is a good friend of mine. Sherman Williams is the head coach over at Murphy. Just took over the program that has really struggled. I mean, it's not been good. And Sherman Williams was, of course, a longtime Alabama great. Both guys played in the NFL.
That's right.
And this one ended 100-0. Not a good situation in terms of just the scoreboard. But I think Antonio Coleman, of course, according to AL.com, Antonio Coleman asked if we could go to a running clock at halftime, and Coach Williams on the other sideline at Murphy said no. I would prefer not to.
Yeah, and then we got.
I haven't got any more information on that.
And we got those other 3 touchdowns. According to Jackie Lett, thank you so much in the chat here, Jackie Lett. She is saying that Williamson, this is a new school record for Williamson. Goes all the way back to the 1960s where they beat Harper 97-0. We will check that, but honestly, I think it's legit.
She said, what was that?
Jackie Lett in the chat said that Williamson now has a new school record. This record break goes back to 1960. They beat Harper High School 97-0. So this 100-0 is now a new school record here there for.
I would be shocked if that wasn't like a state record for like point differential or something like that. That one is strong.
No question.
That one is strong.
And guys, everybody that's in the chat, we really don't know the details. We're trying to get a hold of Coach Antonio Coleman just to get more details. We saw what he told our friend Ben Thomas at AL.com. We're trying to get him on board with us as well, just to be able to talk about it a little bit more. That way we're not just talking blindly and just seeing a result and saying things that we don't know, because neither one of us were at that football game. But certainly a wild night that will be talked about, I'm sure, all week long, not just here in the state of Alabama, but around the country, because like you mentioned, two coaches that are very well known outside of coaching. They are well known for their playing days and now taking over this programs here in Mobile.
Yeah, no question. All right, keeping things rolling over across the bay there, Robertsdale hosting Orange Beach, and quite the opportunity for the Golden Bears, playing, of course, in non-region action and a lower classification opponent. But I'm telling you right now, when a win is a win, and I feel as though that was what the Golden Bears walked away from.
Yeah, Orange Beach came in and they were hot. I mean, they beat Citronelle earlier this year. They were feeling really good. Coach Wade Waldrop and company, they actually got on the scoreboard first. You saw there a touchdown by Chris Taylor on the pass from Tucker Wade. And so the Mako's on fire early, but that's a nice pass here from Jacob Jones to Cohen Turner, and he goes into the end zone for the touchdown. So Coach Jones and company now have tied this ball game up, and the fans are absolutely loving it. One thing about Robertsdale, I mean, it doesn't matter what year, it doesn't matter what their record is.
Their fans are undefeated. Their football team might not be undefeated, but their fans are undefeated. Their band's undefeated. They are out there loud and proud every single Friday.
Absolutely. This is Orange Beach senior Blake Brunick. He goes into the end zone from the 2-yard line. This is a really competitive football game, and hat tip here to the Makos. They played it really competitive. 22-18 your final score. So Justin Jones and company, they won the first 2 football games of the season. They've been on a bit of a losing streak, but they now win another one. I don't know the last time that Robertsdale won 3 games in a season. I'm not saying that to make fun, but this is a program that's on the
dude,
that
progress
is
is progress. Absolutely. There's no question about that. So a big win for Robertsdale, 22-18. If you're just tuning in, going to recap some of the scores, the highlights that we already looked at, and we can always go back to these guys. Our game of the week was Davidson hosting McGill-Tulane. McGill gets the big win in that one, 42-7. Across the bay, Daphne hosted Spanish Fort, 2 big-time rivals. Daphne able to pull away late into that game, 42-28. Big one up in Brewton as UMS beat TR Miller. TR Miller currently ranked 3rd in 3A. The Bulldogs get the dub, 29-6. People commenting about the new hurry-up offense that Sam Williams has completely taken over the Bulldogs program. That I never thought you'd see that program and doing something like that.
It
shocks everybody. Fairhope kind of shocked Theodore, so I thought, shocking me, 31-7 in that game. Williamson shocked the world, 100-0 in a game that I can't even believe that I just said that out loud. And Robertsdale beats Orange Beach 22-18. All right, let's go over to St. Paul's. Taking on Faith Academy, 2 teams that have played for quite some time, used to be in the same region. Now Faith Academy is in 5A, and St. Paul's is in 6A, much to the unhappiness of Ham Barnett, who says they have 3A numbers and a 3A-sized coaching staff. However, they have 5-star sized athletes, like guys like Tank Jones. And they had very impressive recruiters in people like Jason Taylor, the longtime Miami Dolphin great, 7th all-time sack list in the NFL. He was out at this game trying to get the guy you just saw going to the end zone flip from Oregon to Miami. 2 schools outside the country, lots of money though, and so that certainly is helpful. And so 9-0, St. Paul's takes the lead, but look out, Faith Academy gets some offense going. Here's Eli Quinley, quick hitter. He's going to find Kobe Hunt, looking like Kobe Bryant. Athleticism into the end zone. He goes there, and it's 9-7, so competitive early on. But later, Hayden Fincher is going to take the handoff here. Let's check out the next play. Great cheerleaders there. All right, here's a little bit of offense here from St. Paul's. This was not one of the, wow, we did not have one of those. They did not have that play in our highlights that aired earlier, Patrick. That was an impressive one. That one got cut out. But here's Hayden Fincher. That was a great pitch and catch by St. Paul's. Here's Hayden Fincher into the end zone for the touchdown there, and St. Paul is going to get the big victory over their old region pals, Faith Academy, 51-7. But St. Paul's is not really in a position right now in region play that I think that they would really want to be. Do you have those region standings up right now in 6A?
I do not. I can pull them up.
I know they have at least, obviously, the loss against Theodore. I feel like they have another region loss right now. Am I making that up? I thought they had at least another region loss. This is St. Paul's.
St. Paul's.
Yeah. What's their record right
now? Theodore was their region loss a week ago. It looks like right now they are 3-1 in the region. That one loss is to.
Okay, maybe I was just so surprised by it that I thought there were 2 losses. So sorry, Ham. It's only 1 loss. They're still majorly in contention. They're fine. They're gonna be all right. All right, guys. Cottage Hill ain't ranked in the top 10 right now, and certainly the Warriors not any let up in this program.
Not at all. And you could thank a couple of Toodles for that one. Mr. Toodles, shout out to you. You talk about us all the time. We talk about you all the time. Talk about your Jackets all the time. We talk about your sons all the time. Shamar Toodle going up top. This is Caleb. It's Caleb Metzner on the other end. Goes into the end zone for the touchdown. He's a South Alabama commit. I'll tell you what.
Some of these fans are getting ripped at some of these schools.
Yeah, okay. You got to think every touchdown you're doing push-ups, you don't expect to come to a football game and get a workout. But if you're doing the push-ups for Cottage Hill, you are, because you got a big 44-0 win today.
You better be buff.
And our girl Kate Sherman ended up going to this football game here and covered some great highlights. I think it's Xavier Thomas that's on the punt return. And that would lead to a Shadarius Toodle touchdown. And Cottage Hill not buying into their own hype about being a top 10 team. Last year, this is a team that only won a handful of games. There was not a lot of expectations going into this season from the outside looking in. We knew that they would be good. Yep. We knew that they would be talented. Now they're showing the world. They stay undefeated. Coach Carvel Jones and company doing a really, really good job this season. And the fans absolutely loving it as Cottage Hill goes on to win 44-0.
Yes, a big win for Cottage Hill, no question. And we're going to keep things rolling over at Satsuma, where the Gators welcomed in St. Luke's this evening. The Wildcats going to have it first here. A direct snap goes to Cameron Roberts, and he races his way to the pylon for the touchdown. 7-0 St. Luke's. Certainly a program that has been trending in the right direction. I mean, they've had success, obviously, in their classification for quite some time. But when you have athletes like this, man, look out for Cameron Roberts. Once again, cutting back across the field, this time off to the races. He goes in for another touchdown to take a 14-0 lead against a program that's, three classifications greater than they are in terms of size-wise. But Satsuma, to the credit of a great coaching staff and a lot of great, hardworking athletes there, they're going to claw back in this game. And St. Luke's would not find the end zone one other time. There's Evan Bell into the end zone for the Gators. And Satsuma mounts a comeback victory. They scored 19 unanswered to beat St. Luke's 19-14.
It's honestly a really big win for Coach Jordan and company, because they had been really struggling going into this season. Now, there were some high hopes. They lost a lot of guys last year, so they were a really young football team. But they got their first win on the field. They got a win early in the season against McIntosh. That was a forfeit win. So a first win on the field today against St. Luke's in that matchup there. So Congratulations to Coach Jordan and company. In the chat there, Robert Gray, we do see your comments. They are coming in. You're asking about Washington County. Washington County lost to Leroy today, obviously one of the top 2 teams in the state of Alabama in Class 1A. 44-14 was the final score. I just wanted to make sure that you knew that Washington County, they did fall tonight to a really good Leroy football team out of Class 1A.
Over to Mobile Christian, who welcomed in a school from Mississippi, who I'm going to let Gerhard say that name, and also one of the greatest mascots I've seen in high school football.
St. Stanislaus out of Mississippi, and I'll tell you
mascot?
What, their mascot is the Rockachas.
Rockachas?
The Rockachas.
Rockachas. And it was like hyphenated.
R-O-C-K-A, R-O-C-K dash A,
whatever you call
Chaws, C-H-A-W-S.
Rockachas. Love that.
St. Stanislaus. But Rockachaw's great name, and but the better football team was the Leopards. I won't lie. This is just a great showing here by Coach Charles Lawson and company, and we'll get you some names. I know Aiden Gaston was on one of those big plays.
Oh, I got him. Rerun it here, Patrick. Yeah. Rerun it here, Patrick. All right, guys. I can do Gerhard's job for him. I got this. All right.
I got you,
Gerhard, you're fired.
I got you, Rockachaw's. Got me on the highlight.
Figure it out.
This is Landon Stewart to Xavier Harris, speeding his way into the end zone for the touchdowns. The Mobile Christian cheerleaders have to love this. You know, their volleyball team won a state championship a year ago. Their football team back in 2023. I feel the fall sports are coming back there with the Leopards. This is a great play here. Ladarius Jones Jr., he's on the screen, almost falls down, untouched into the end zone, catches his feet, and Israel Bernard into the end zone for the quarterback, the new quarterback here, finds Aiden Gaston, goes into the end zone for the touchdown as well. Mobile Christian, I'll tell you what, they gave Jackson a run for their money last week. I know the final score won't show it, but last year last week. They gave Jackson a run for the money, scored
Yes.
early on Jackson. This looks to be a really competitive Class 4A Region 1, and Charles Lawson and company, they get back on their feet after that loss last week, and they get a big win tonight.
Guys, we're going to take a look at some of the scores from around the area. Our girl Gracie holding it down and keeping us updated with everything that is happening throughout Mobile County and beyond. McIntosh gets the shutout victory over Calhoun. 64-0 in that one. I think we had the XL beats JU Blacksher 24-19. Sweetwater beats Georgiana 46-12 in that game. Coosa Christian beats Blunt 25-14.
That's right.
That's strong there. Hillcrest Evergreen beats Greenville 27-20. Bluntstown, where's that?
Bluntstown. I've heard of it. I have no idea where it is.
Sorry, I just put you on the spot. Bluntstown, Patrick, you don't have to shake
Google,
your head. No, I know you
Google
dang sure don't know. Patrick, Patrick's like 3 seconds.
I've been here for 2 seconds.
Patrick's like 3 seconds. Patrick doesn't even know where. Patrick doesn't know where UMS right is.
I'm just finding out where the local Publix is.
Patrick's trying to figure out what the Bayway is versus the Causeway, guys. We're not. Dang sure didn't want to ask him where Bluntstown was.
Thank you for Google Maps. Bluntstown is a city in Calhoun County, Florida.
Okay, see, now I don't feel nearly as bad because I thought I was like, all right, we're somewhere.
It's east of Panama City Beach.
Okay, good times. The good times there. So Bluntstown beats WS Neal 38-7. And by the way, it was obviously week 6, and so that's always the off week. Nobody's playing in region play. A lot of people go out of state. Flomaton did just that, although it's kind of like seemingly right there on the same state. They played Jay 21-7, and Flomaton gets the victory there. They were just ranked in the top 10. Just got booted out of the top 10, but certainly a team that's contending. Back to the top from our game of the week. McGill-Tulane beats Davidson 42-7. UMS Wright goes on the road to TR Miller, gets the win 29-6 in that one. Daphne comes back to beat Spanish for 42-28 after trailing at home 14-0 after Aiden Schamberger looked like incredible there early in that game, but then the Trojans able to call them their way back. Fairhope comes across the bay to Theodore, and they beat the Bobcats.
That's right.
31-7. Alma Bryant with a quarterback, maybe not, beats Citronelle 18-13. Williamson and Murphy.
Ooh.
We've talked about that several times tonight. 100-0 the final of that.
Mm.
If someone would respond to a text, I can tell you more about it. No one's responding to a text. So
we'll get more information. We'll pass it along.
Here's what I can respond here. I don't think this is on the record from Ben, but I'm going to say this on the record comment. I said, Ben, what happened in this game, bro? He said, I honestly, after talking to both, have no idea.
No clue.
So, you know what?
But we don't either.
Neither do we. And Ben's better than we are. So, you know what? There we go. Shout out to Ben Thomas of AL.com for the really, really great insight there. Robertsdale beats Orange Beach 22-18. And that's a big win for the Golden Bears. Mobile Christian gets a win 52-0 against a team out of Mississippi. And Satsuma beats St. Luke's 31-20. St. Paul's beats their old region foes, Faith Academy 51-7. Cottage Hill shuts out Choctaw County, looking like good as advertised. I hope they're contending for the title in a few weeks, man. I really, really do.
Yeah.
That would be awesome for Carvel Jones and company. 44-0 the final in that one. Flomaton beats Jay 21-7. Florala beats Bayshore Christian 33-0. And I think that just wrapped all of our scores there. So good stuff.
Oh, did you Blunt Coosa Christian? Blunt made a long road trip up all the way up to Coosa Christian. It's in the Gadsden area.
Yeah, I said that one. Right?
It's like, oh, did you? I just didn't.
It was 25-14.
That's right.
Well,
yep.
Yeah, you got that. Okay,
yep.
yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah. Coosa Christian beat Blunt.
Yeah,
25-14.
That's right. And two things on that.
That's far away.
That is far away. It's more than probably 5 hours.
Did Gadsden City win tonight?
Close to 5 hours. I don't know if Gadsden City won, but we do have those Blunt Coosa Christian games.
Oh
yeah.
Thank you, Garrett.
Our good friends over at After the Game over there in the East Alabama area sending over these highlights to us here on Fifth Quarter Extra. Coosa Christian, they are a 2A team, but they're one of the top teams in Class 2A, and they are loaded with talent. We see that a lot, like with teams like Cottage Hill. It's almost like playing like Cottage Hill down here.
Who's the coach there, Coosa Christian?
His name is Rush Probst, and that's the reason I wanted to bring this up. Rush Probst is the interim coach.
You just said that in like the way like that. Hey, his name is, like some random person.
Like I thought you were asking like almost.
I know who it is.
But the reason why he's there is because Marco Bryant was suspended by the Alabama High School Athletic Association. So they put in Rush Probst, who of course of Hoover High School fame. However, get this, Simone. This is our friends from After the Game. Shout out. But get this, Simone. Rush Probst had 300 wins already on the season. However, he got some wins vacated from the state of Georgia. So he won.
Did he have any vacated from the state of Alabama?
I don't think so. I think it was only Georgia he got vacated. However, he comes back. This is win number 300 again.
You know what? Celebrate twice, Coach. You know, I like Rush. I really do. I mean, he is hilarious. He's got a lot of stories.
Yeah, he
kind of like
does.
the Lane Kiffin documentary. There's a lot. There's
Yes,
a lot
there's
there. There's a lot there.
A lot going over there.
A lot to unpack.
And they're a state title contender. Can you imagine, Simone, if Rush Probst goes in and after all that dominance he had with the Hoover
Someone
High
will turn
School-
them in for, like, you know, drinking a Gatorade the wrong way or something. There's no question that Coosa Christian, if they continue to win, someone will find something to do some way. I mean, there has been more turmoil with that program than there has been any program, and that says a lot because there's been a lot with that's high school football in the state of Alabama. It's dramatic.
So Daniel Harper, thank you for that comment. Yes, Rush Probst does win 300, again.
Again.
We'll
And you know
see if
what?
this one gets
You know,
vacated.
honestly, he might have more opportunities to win number 300. He really might. We might have a third or fourth time. Shout out to Rush.
Absolutely.
Anything else? Anything else we got?
And you know what? Shout out to all these people who are in the chat from far away. We have somebody, our buddy,
Listen,
Mr.
bro,
Kessler.
we've spent half our lives in Birmingham down here, so I mean, everyone wants us to come back.
We got Kenny Kessler out of Las Vegas. We got some.
Oh
Missouri.
shoot! Okay,
We got some
I ain't been there, but you know
Oklahoma.
what? We'll come check it out.
We got New Mexico in the house. All right, so for
Mr. Worldwide.
So for Kenny Kessler, you're in Las Vegas. If you are a gambler, if not, that's cool. If you are a gambler, go down to the casino. $5 on red. If you hit it, you're having a good day. Russian roulette. Thank me later.
Bet the over in the Williamson-Murphy game. On that note, we're going to say goodbye with the picture of JP Sessions.
Let's leave it with it.
And this is the only way to do it, guys.
My man.
Deuces. Canes, get the dub.
Canes dub.
Guys, thanks for tuning in. For Patrick Walsh behind the scenes, Kenzie Future Walsh, currently Parker behind the scenes holding it down in motherhood, helping me out so I can do this show. Garrett, I'm Simone Eli, and we'll see you next week here on Fifth Quarter Extra. Have a good weekend.